My name is Kalimbwe, and I'm going to present web services. This is what I've done for the coursework 2. The main things to look at are components, characteristics, protocols, challenges, and benefits. To start with, the definition of a web service. What is a web service? A web service is simply a set of open protocols or standards which are used to exchange information over internet. The message is in a form of XML format, and the reason why it is in XML format is that it should be understood when it is sent over the internet. It must be understood by the client and also the server. Now we look at how the web service work. For a web service to work properly, it will require 3 components, and the components are service registry. This is the centralized area where the published web services are kept and ready for publishing and access. Then we've got service provider. The service provider is the owner of the service. He is the owner in the sense that he is the developer, and at the same time he publishes the web service to the consumers, and he publishes it on the internet so that consumers are able to search and connect to the web service and have full benefit of the web services. To do this, the WSDL, which is Web Service Development Language, has to be used. Then there's also the service requester. Service requester, this is the consumer. The consumer is the service requester in the sense that first and foremost, the consumer searches the web service which has been published on the internet, and this is searched from the service registry, and when the consumer finds the web service, is able to use it. At the same time, there should be a response from the web service. The response or feedback has to be given to the requester. In all this information exchange, XML plays a very critical role, because all these messages which go on the web service, they have to be in the XML format. Even the service provider, when developing and publishing the web service, everything is done in XML format for better understanding. Even when the requester requests from the web service, the XML format message is sent to the website to inquire. The feedback which comes from the service provider to the requester is also in the form of XML message. So basically that's how the web service works. It has got 3 components: service registry, which keeps or stores the published web services; the service requester, who happens to be a consumer, he searches or finds the web services by sending XML message; and the service provider, who develops a web service and publishes it on the internet so as to give the service to the consumer. The next one is web service protocol stack. This is a set of standards which have been created to govern the web services. And these are 4 layers. The first one at the bottom, which is layer 1, is transport service. Basically, as it states, transport service, it's mainly used to transport or to transfer messages on the internet. And these messages are in the form of XML messages. And it transmits or exchanges this information over HTTP protocol, hypertext transport protocol, which is basically a website. And it also utilizes the SMTP, which is simple mail transfer protocol. And another one is FTP, which is file transfer protocol. So the service exchanges information using these protocols over the internet so that the consumers are able to have access to the messages being sent over the internet from the web services. The second one is layer 2. This one is XML messaging. XML messaging simply means the information is encoded in XML format and exchanged on the internet. And that information, it's also supposed to carry information which is understood by web users. Here, XML and SOAP are being used as formats for the messages which is going over the internet. XML is very useful in this case. First and foremost, it's very simple to create an XML message. Secondly, XML messages are very easy to understand by the consumers or the users of the web service. It's also very easy to create web services using XML format. The next layer is layer 3, which is service description. Basically, at layer 3, a web service is described over the internet, and it also helps the consumer to know what sort of a web service it is. So by describing it, it means consumers are able to search for the web service. The fourth one is layer 4, which is UDDI, and this protocol is service discovery protocol. The service discovery protocol basically is used for searching or finding the published web service over the internet. UDI and WSDL, they work together, and all these protocols, they use XML format. Then we have the web service implementation. When a web service is implemented, as can be seen in the diagram, you have the web service interface, which is at the client side. Then you have the content of the web service itself. at the center, and also you have the database which contains the information which is being exchanged between the consumer and the provider. So basically, the consumer searches for the information, and also the server is able to provide feedback to the consumer on the searched information. However, all the information is in XML format. So, to crown it all, there are also challenges faced by the web services, and a few of these challenges are to do with the availability of the service. Since internet is being used, chances are that it may not be up 100%. Definitely, the web services are distributed over the internet. They are distributed applications. Therefore, replication takes place on different servers in different areas. So even if the web service is not available on one location, the other location will be able to service or pick up the service and service the consumer. The other one is security and privacy. Since a web service is on the internet, there is no 100% privacy over the internet. Anyone can view the information which is over the internet. However, security socket layer SSL can be used to ensure that information which is exchanged is protected. And this operates with a protocol called HTTPS. Therefore, it can help to safeguard the information which is being exchanged over the internet. There are many other areas, for example, authentication. So it's also another concern or challenge, but credentials have to be granted so that access is given to the correct consumer. However, there are also benefits of the web service, and these benefit the consumer. Interoperability is one of them, because web services are platform independent, so they can operate on any platform, and by so doing they give a consumer great benefit. So this is the presentation in short, which is about web services. And also, to crown it, web services, they are platform independent. They can use any software, any operating system, and that is one of the advantages of web services. Therefore, it's good to jump on the wagon to use the web services so that you get full benefit of it. Thank you for your attention.